Man, new album, keeping music coming. I mean, what is it like at this point in your career? I mean, making new music. I mean, what's the thought? How do you navigate through what you want to present?
It never is the same process. I think no matter how many times you do it, the minute it feels comfortable, you're doing it wrong. So it's like, for me and Nat, we always kind of want to go to the drawing board and do things that are push our limits and still at the same time have fun, because that's what 303 is most about. It's just about having fun and keeping that energy. And that, if anything, that sometimes is the hardest, because you think about how long we've been doing this, and you're like, you know, there's times where you want to open up and do something, and we actually brought some of that to our new album, which, you know, Back to Life, Youngblood. We kind of brought a different sound, and I don't think we're afraid to do that, and that's what's good. I think sometimes you limit yourself because you have this perception of what people want, but sometimes you just got to do what you want and hope that they attach on. So
I mean, you don't want to keep making the same record. You got to evolve, but at the same time, you don't want to alienate those that, you know,
sure. I mean,
love what you do.
We still have people, and, you know, it's awesome that they love our first album, Want, so much, and they keep asking. They're like, you know, we want that album, and Matt and I are just like, you have that album, you own it. Let's do some new stuff. And to be honest, this new Omens record, all the fans on Twitter and Facebook that we've interacted with have loved it. So I'm hoping we did that. I'm hoping we brought some elements of our past, but moved forward and did something new. So
yeah. And I mean, it's a constant musical environment that's always in flux, you know, new technologies, new ideas. I mean, the Warped Tour is one of the only constants, even though it probably, you know, evolves too behind the scenes, you know. What's your strategy going into a summer tour like this, you know? Obviously you got new music to play, but, you know, how do you balance it out to achieve everything you're trying to do?
You know, this tour is always, like you said, in flux. Every year feels different. The one consistency is the fans are always unbelievable. I think that as far as what type of music is on the tour, and I don't think you can worry too much, and I don't think you can worry about how you fit in. I think you just got to do your thing and bring it. I mean, this tour has molded us into a live act that I feel like, you know, I think we've benefited immensely from, because just the amount of energy and the amount that the fans give to you, you give it back, and you learn how to do that. So our set this year, I'm probably the most confident I've been in any of our sets, because I just think it goes from 100 to 500, like, I don't even know on what scale, but it's just, you know, we keep it up, we keep it going. So
yeah. Now I know you guys just played the Roxy. I mean, what's the difference between, you know, playing with a crowd's like right in your face, or there's a barrier, or outdoors, indoors? How does it affect the show?
You know, it is a different show. I think that the Roxy, you kind of learn to make it. You have to make your shows intimate, no matter how large or outside or where they may be. And there's different tools and tricks. I mean, like you said, like the Roxy, you can literally reach out and touch, you know, everyone in the crowd. So that's one thing. You make it feel like it's your living room, like everyone's having a party. To do that in a bigger outdoor setting is harder. I mean, I think that you learn tricks, and hopefully our music just bridges that gap. I know yesterday in San Diego it was a blast, so hopefully we can carry that through.
Now I know you take it to Europe, Canada, whatever. I mean, what's some of the biggest crowds you've done? I mean, on some of those festivals, what have you looked out and said, oh my God?
I mean, I know the Oh Wow Factor was for Reading and Leeds when we played in the UK. Because I didn't know what to expect. I love that festival, and we were new to it, and we went out there, and there were easily, you know, 30,000 people, and out of the dance tent just pouring, and that was one of those moments that I will never. I mean, to be honest, I remember pretty much every show we've ever played, but that one was really special for me, and we've had a lot of that. We have Bamboozle, we played to almost 40,000, 30,000 people. It's that. At some point, those are just like, you have to, it's hard because you want to play the songs, you don't have that moment of take it in, but sometimes that you have that, the minute actually you have that wow factor, sometimes you mess up, so you kind of want to just not think about it until you're done, you know?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now, I know you've seen so much in the industry, and, you know, again, a lot of different elements, you know, go into making a great album, great show, great song. What is some of the advice you give to that young band, writer, singer, rapper, artist today coming up?
I've heard a lot. I mean, I've worked with a lot of artists. Nat and I do a lot of external writing, and a lot of people worry too much about image or where they're going to fit or how they're going to get a management team or an agent. And I think really the best thing you can do is just to put your creative foot forward first, and just make your music. Online, like the internet has the capability of cutting all the middlemen out. Make your music, post it online. If you have to get music production programs. You can get good at GarageBand. That comes with your computer. If you have to go and early on, I have to admit, like Nat and I, we pirated some software. We buy all the stuff now, but early on you couldn't afford it, and I think things are a lot more affordable these days. And there's no excuse not to just make your own music, build a local following, and get that buzz going yourself. And if you're making excuses for yourself, then you're making excuses. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, we're so pleased that you and your manager Michael and your fellow record company associate could come out to IES last year at the Indie Entertainment Summit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why is it important to be able to learn from those that have been doing what you're trying to do and kind of follow some paths and ideas that
Well, like
work?
you said, man, I mean, you're thankful for our manager. We're extremely thankful for our manager. I think Mike and us, me and Nat, have been working together from the very beginning. He called us right when we started, and there's no better person to role model and manager to follow lead from, because very intelligent, but he has a great set of morals and ethics that I think the music industry is a lot like the Wild West. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. People will cut social ties. Anything flies, and that's just not how we work. And I like to work with people, and I like to work with bands that have the same ethics, because I think in the long run, yeah, it is just business, but it's a lot more than that. I think that when you're dealing with creativity and music, it's something more intimate than that, and you can't just throw that out the window. So I appreciate that, and looking at people coming up and they have these goals of becoming famous or world domination, and I think first and foremost you got to look at what you're doing. If making music is the most important, then you're doing the right thing. So just keep doing that.